Hi, welcome to Straight Talk. With the spring upon us, our tendency is to think about eating better, eating healthier, being outside, going to farmers markets, wanting to do right with our bodies so we can look good in bathing suits and we can be healthier. And today on Straight Talk, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about farmers markets, growing your own food, how to eat healthy, everything you're going to hear, and it's all local. And that's what's so great about this show. And starting off is something that I'm always impressed with, and that's Baltimore City Recreation and Parks. Gwen Chambers, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You do something in the city that just kind of blows me away every year when I hear about it. And you have city farms.
Yes.
We actually have farms in Baltimore City.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. So tell me about city farms.
So City Farms was actually established in 1978 by, at the time, Mayor William Donald Schaefer. And it started with one park. And the idea is to make community gardening available to city residents who might not have a yard, or if you have a yard, you might not have a lot of yard space, or you might not have the knowledge of how to cultivate plants in a way that they will grow. And from there, it's just grown. So we currently have 12 plot locations around the city, and with a total of over 800 individual garden plots.
Now we're showing some of those plots as we talk. They're all over the city. So different.
And many of them are located in our large parks like Druid Hill Park, Carroll Park, Clifton, Patterson. There's one not far from here at the bottom of TV Hill in Rock Rose. Yeah, so it's just the opportunity for you to come out, and if you already enjoy gardening, you know, there's space there for you. If you're a novice gardener, for example, this will be my first year making an attempt at it. The gardeners, your fellow gardeners help you, and then there's a garden coordinator that also helps offer advice to help you decide which plants you should grow, what's in season at the time, and just kind of help you through the process.
I mean, is the goal to just learn how to go through the process of planting and cultivating and coming up with something beautiful at the end, whether it's a tomato or a flower?
The goal will be different to each individual gardener. Some do grow plants and flowers. Mostly people do grow food. So if you think about it, it's a great way to save money. You're doing something that's physically good for you, as well as supplying a food source for your family at a fraction of the cost as it would be to maybe shop at a grocery store. And you know where it came from. You know what's in it, so there's a benefit to that as well. And then some people, you might just be curious to figure out if this is something you can do, and we're here to help you walk through that process as well.
Now, do people get a little plot for themselves, and it's kind of labeled their name, and this is your territory? And
So they're assigned by number, so that we know where the plots are, and then you'll know, for example, your plot 33 or 35, or whatever your number is. And so there are 10 by 15 foot plots, and then there are smaller 9 by 6.
The cost, is there a cost for this for anyone, or how's that work?
There's a $10 registration fee, and then the cost of the plot is based on which size you get, whether you get the larger or the smaller, but it's a nominal fee. It's around like $30 or so. So it's very reasonable, and that's for the entire season, which is April through October.
And that fee covers?
It covers the water,
everything?
Because when you get the plot, in addition to the assistance, I mean, there's water. One, it's a secure location. It's fenced in and it's locked. It always remains locked, except you'll get a key or the combination to the lock where you can come in and out during the hours, which are dusk to dawn. And then, you know, there's mulch, wheelbarrows, some of the equipment that you might not want to buy or be able to buy for yourself that's there on site.
So being a family could like make this a project for the summer.
Yep. We
And
do have
do it
a lot
together.
of families that come in together. Absolutely, it's a wonderful experience. And you see a lot of young kids, and it's great to catch them at that age, because again, it's just another level of exposure. One, to healthy eating, keeping them in touch with nature, particularly in an urban environment where you might not necessarily think, I can have a garden and grow my own food.
Yeah, I think that's the fascinating part, is that we know how people complain that there's not enough room. They don't have yards big enough to grow something, to do what you're doing. And this thing has grown each year.
Oh, yes.
And I'm assuming funding is coming from either the city or the state or...
The City Farms Coordinator, Harold McCrae, who's wonderful, a part of his job duties, in addition to whatever funding the city provides, he also seeks out grants and partnerships to help cover the costs as well. So we definitely want to keep it as affordable as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole key, is to make it easy and simple.
Yep.
And you certainly sounds like that's what you've done up to this point. How do people get in touch? How do they, if they want their little plot of land, who do they call?
They would call Harold. You can find all of his information on our website, bcrp.baltimorecity.gov.
We're showing it right now.
Or you can email Harold. It's bcrp.cityfarms@baltimorecity.gov.
And just say, I want to get involved, I want to...
Yes, and so he'll be able to explain like which locations have open spaces, and you can kind of work together to figure out which location works for you. There are many of the locations that are extremely popular, and they might book up, but then they have waiting lists, and then there are other locations that will have open spaces. And
when you fill up, you're filled for the season, pretty much.
Correct.
And I would imagine you probably sell out pretty fast.
For some locations, for instance, Patterson Park is an extremely popular location. It's one of our most heavily used parks, and that community has a heavy interest in the gardening program. So there might be a waiting list, but again, there are 11 other locations to choose from. And if a community, I believe the number is 35, if you can pull 35 people with an interest, our program will work with you to try to identify a location.
Oh, that's good to know.
You know, and the funding for a new City Farms
That's
location.
great. Growing farms in Baltimore City. It impresses me every time I hear about it. It's wonderful. Well, look, Gwen, thank you once again.
Thank you.
I love hearing about this because it's such an important thing, and I think it's such a cool thing for families to do together. So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing with us.
All right.
When we come back to Straight Talk, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite, farmers markets. Stay with us. We're coming right back to Straight Talk.